In a new report, suspected China hackers spied on numerous governments, NGOs, and media agencies. Well, joining us right now, cybersecurity expert and attorney Leeza Garber. Welcome, Leeza. I want to talk about this hacking group. It is known as Red Alpha, and it specializes in stealing login details from individuals in organizations who are considered to be, quote, strategic interests to Beijing. Now, this scheme is known as credential phishing. First of all, what is credential phishing? And what organizations were targeted? Tell us about that.
Hi, Jan. Great to see you this Monday morning. And Red Alpha is a Chinese-based hacking organization. They're state-sponsored, meaning they further China's interests. So what they've been doing is targeting humanitarian organizations, Taiwanese government agencies, things that are really advantageous to get information from for China. And what they're looking for are credentials. So they're basically attempting to steal usernames and passwords to emails, to access different websites, company portals, any way that they can get in. And it's called credential phishing, meaning they're phishing for your login information.
And these hackers often use several angles to attack, but the easiest way to get information is often through company employees, right, at the keyboard. And we've talked about one of the ways to prevent this is that multi-factor authentication, but you say many organizations and government institutions have been very slow to adopt this. Why is that? And what can be done to prevent this?
It's so frustrating. I feel like every cybersecurity expert, person in the privacy industry is always saying you have to do all these different things. Really, it comes down to the basics. And one of the basics, besides updating your password, updating your operating software, is using multi-factor authentication, meaning you have another way to authenticate yourself in addition to a password. Unfortunately, many organizations, including government agencies, especially in this country, fall behind on using this type of authentication measure because it's another annoyance, it's another headache. It makes things more complicated and more time consuming. But in reality, it's really important. And in fact, the Microsoft chief information officer has said 99.9% of breaches could be avoided if we turned on multi-factor authentication. Of course, it gives a lot of power to your cell phone number because that's usually where that secondary authentication measure will come in.
And we also talked about SIM swapping recently. So for folks who did not hear about this earlier, this is where hackers can actually get into your phone and take over your SIM regardless, which means they would also have access to any kind of multi-factor authentication. How is this happening and how can you prevent that?
SIM swapping is another type of very scary hack. We have credential phishing, we have regular phishing, spamming. SIM swapping is essentially where a hacker takes full control of your phone number, meaning that they then get into the multi-factor authentication procedure. And they can change your banking info, your email credentials, social media, everything your phone has access to. The best way to protect yourself is to consistently update your software. Don't click on malicious links. Don't click on phishing emails, and call your cell phone company and find out what they're doing to protect you against SIM swapping. We have all these different threat vectors coming for our information. We have to be proactive.
And Apple now telling users they may have been actively exploited. As we know, no one's immune to hackers, including Apple. The company discovered a vulnerability in its operating systems recently. Tell us more about this hack.
The Apple hack is really eye-opening, and it's a reminder of why we need to accept updates on our operating system, or what's also called as patches, for any type of technical device you have, whether it's your computer, your iPad, your cell phone. And this specific Apple update affects everyone owning an Apple device that's 2015 or later. So even your latest super fancy expensive iPhone isn't immune to this issue. Basically, you have to accept the update. I believe it's 15 point something. It's the latest one that'll come up as an alert on your phone or your iPad or your MacBook. You have to download it and then restart your phone.
So this is basically what Apple users need to do to protect their information and their devices. Is that what you're saying? We just have to update it through that?
Yes, you're taking advantage of what research the company, whether it's Apple or Google or whoever makes your device, has researched and put forth. And this is unfortunately a zero-day exploit that they found hackers already taking advantage of. The term zero-day is very buzzy. It just means it's been known about for 0 days by the manufacturer. So hackers and the malicious bad guys are coming in and taking advantage already. This specific Apple exploit exploit, this flaw that's being updated through the patch, allowed hackers access to the deepest level of the operating system of the iPhone and the inner workings of Safari, the web browser on iPhones and MacBooks and iPads. So it's really important to take advantage of this update.
Wow, frightening. Update those phones. All right, Leeza Garber, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much.